Okay.
It's recording.
There you go.
Hello. Is this loud enough? All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. We wanted to give an opportunity for folks to meet our 3 finalists for the coroner appointment. We commend you gentlemen for being willing to serve the community. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we have Nathan Weatherall, Larry Jack, and Alex Creek. And gentlemen, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and there aren't too many of us in the room here too, so we might open it up if anybody has questions that they haven't already asked you one-on-one. But Nathan, why don't we start with you, and I'm going to pass you the mic so that folks at home and in the room, just a minute, let me ask the question. That's good. That's great. I appreciate it. But the first question that all of you will give you a chance to answer is just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you think you'd be suited for the appointment to the coroner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Weatherall. I have my master's degree in biomedical diagnostics. I received it from Arizona State University in 2019. Before that, I was a studio arts major, and in the process of that, I became very ill and ended up going through some major medical procedures and medical events, and it opened up my interest into medicine quite a bit. And that also sparked my interest in biomedical diagnostics and diagnosing. One of my main hobbies to do is research, and especially unknown illnesses, unknown diseases. I enjoy being outdoors quite a bit. I'm currently part of the Civil Air Patrol, and I'm the local commander of our unit, and we do a lot of search and rescue and emergency location transmitter prosecuting. So I'm very active. I go out quite a bit. And I feel I'm suited for this position, especially since with my former health issues, I'm a heart transplant recipient. And so the dignity and the honor of people who have passed on, I feel need to be the utmost responsibility of the coroner. And I hope to repair the damage caused by the previous holder of the office. And I plan to make big changes in the office. And one area that I'd really like to work on is not just the deceased care, but family care as well. Because a lot of people don't realize how important it is to take care of the family and not just the individual that is passed on. So I have big plans for that.
That's great. Larry?
My turn. Hi, my name is Larry Jack, and it's kind of hard. I'm retired, and I've done a lot of things in my career. For 30 years, I was an oral surgeon. I also have a degree in clinical pathology. One of the things that I thought makes this particularly attractive as a coroner is that during my surgical residencies, I was a consultant for the Baltimore Medical Examiner. And with the knowledge of dental forensics, I was able to help and assist in many dental body identification. If anybody's really familiar with how badly decomposed people can be, well, that was one of the things that I was really good at, is being able to take the skull, being able to look at the dentistry, figure out exactly where this person came from. As far as other experiences, I've been a director and the chair of a department in pathology and immunology. I ran a research unit out of the Marshall Islands, which dealt with the poor people that were exposed to the H1 experiments in the 50s and 60s. I have attended and assisted in numerous uncountable autopsies. I've never done an autopsy. I'm not qualified to do that. I'm certainly qualified enough to be an assistant. I was a member and the founder of the rescue organization in West Virginia. And in doing that, there's a lot of body recovery and repelling in the areas covered. So the reason I'd like to do this is that I find that the challenge of pathology, the ability to serve my community, and also to make a difference in this office. I think that the office of coroner is kind of an invisible office. And if I'm the coroner, my door will be open. I want to be able to extend the office into continuing education courses for first responders. I've been approached by some ladies from the Colorado Education who are very enthusiastic, excited about the possibility of coming up here and giving classes, which I'd open up not only to the first responders, but also the general public too. And I think that this, even though it's kind of an unusual, maybe even bizarre field, I think kids would find this fascinating if some of these things were introduced to them. So,
Thank you, sir. I could probably talk to all three of you for hours.
We're
Your intro-
just doing.
Yes, introduction, please. And
So my name is Alex Creed, studied mathematics and physics. Tampa, been here about 6 years now, 6.5. I am a former diver. I have participated in a number of recoveries, joined Lake County Search and Rescue when I got here, and have not been active since 2018, but still exceptionally supportive. Good relationships with local agencies. I have a serious interest in this community, the existing community, those who have been here for 6 months and those who have been here for 60 years. Those are my people, and I am hugely interested in being in support of them.
so the next question I'll ask is, what interests you in the office, and what plans would you have for the rest of the term, which would go through 2022, and then next year there would be an election. And I'll start with you this time, Alex.
So my plans here. So first of all, I would seek training as is statutorily required as soon as possible. That's the most crucial and important thing. I realize it's the least interesting thing, but it is the most important thing. I also need to establish a coroner infrastructure. We need to integrate the office of the coroner into emergency services in general. We need an infrastructure so that even if, for example, I am an appointee, even if I am not the coroner after that, that the next guy has the tools he needs to do his job, that everything is set up, everything is perfectly clean and in order, so that there's no questions about whether things were done properly. Things were done legally and things were done ethically. So he's not going to have baggage. That's my goal. Likewise, we need to form relationships with these emergency services, because the coroner mostly serves not only his community, he does serve his community, but he also serves emergency services. That's crucially important. The coroner absolutely has to be there when he is called, or we could have potentially 50% of, say, law enforcement manpower at night in Lake County sitting on a scene. They generally can't leave until the coroner arrives and does his job. That represents a huge reduction in our manpower at night, and in a community where we often have 1 or 2 deputies on, that's a serious issue. Likewise, another number 0 priority, I unfortunately have a lot of these, is I would appoint deputies as is statutorily required, and probably hold them to the exact same standards that the coroner did, so that you would have a pretty clear line of succession if somebody wanted to retire, for example. That would be what I sought out to accomplish in my first term, if I was appointed. You, sir.
Well, I don't know if anybody remembers that I ran for the office 2 years ago. And I think it was during that time that I found an appreciation for the politics and the office itself in order to run successfully as a candidate, which unfortunately I had to be knowledgeable about the office and all the statutory regulations. I would also be one that was very proactive in terms of continuing education, that it's important to appoint decent and honorable people to be the deputies. I have, unfortunately, a friend that passed away this winter, Bud Elliott, and he and I talked about this as an office. He wanted to be my deputy. And he said that he had been coroner before, and how very important it is to have good deputies, because otherwise the office can be strung out. Just like you said, you could get called out in the middle of the night and there's somebody that's out there to cover. You've got to really have a administrative mess. So it's important that I would find good qualified people. Continuing education is paramount. In my field, I've been taking continuing ed courses since, well, for us, since before we were born, probably. But I find it is very important to make sure that the people are knowledgeable about what they do. And it also makes it good for good standing in terms of the community, that people respect the coroner and his deputies. So
Maybe to repeat the question. Nathan. Oh, yeah.
I think I got
All
it. So many of my goals for the office of coroner are to bring back the integrity and the honor that the office is supposed to hold and supposed to have. I plan to rebuild the trust in the office. I hope that the office can be treated as though somebody was just going to see their local doctor, with the same amount of trust, with the same amount of care, and the same amount of detail to important things. I plan to appoint deputies with different specialties. So I'd like to have a deputy in law enforcement, a deputy in pathology, a deputy that deals with critical incidences. And along with that, with the critical incidents deputy, I'd like to build a critical incident stress management team. And this could literally be one person and a puppy. And they can go out to a scene. So if anybody, there was a witness, or if anybody was a party to an incident where there was either a death or casualties, even if the coroner isn't needed, I want to be able to be there for the people of Lake County and for Leadville. I plan to do a complete audit of the office if I'm appointed. And I plan to do a complete breakdown of the entire office and rebuild it. Kind of like a football year for some high school teams where you do the tear down and the build up. I feel that that should be the main goal for the next 18 months of the office. And I plan to have all my deputies do continuing medical education, even beyond the coroner responsibilities. One of the areas I plan to have my deputy study is biomedical diagnostics, which is what my master's degree is in. And the reason for that is it is becoming one of the most advanced and useful diagnostics tools versus doing a physical hands-on assessment. And there are many companies out there with continuing medical education for these kinds of diagnostic tools. I plan to make the office of the coroner much more available to the public. And as Dr. Larry said, I do also think that kids might be interested in this. There is obviously things we can't talk about and tell them, but I want everybody in the county and in the community to know that the coroner and the coroner's office is somebody in a group that can be trusted. You know, I personally know people that were victims of the previous coroner. And some of those people are very disheartened about Lake County in general. And so just if one office is down, it brings all the other offices down. So rebuilding the office of coroner is one of my biggest priorities, and serving the community in the best way possible with diagnostics and with critical incidents.
And just a final quick question, where do you all see yourselves involved in the coroner's office long term? And Larry, I'll start with you.
Well, I'm aware that the office is going to be an appointment, which means whoever's going to be there is going to have to face the election in November. This is going to be, well, we won't get into politics, but that's one of the aspects. Where I see myself, well, if I'm the one that's appointed to this, I'll run for the office. And I hope by that time that the record is established for the coroner's office will be honorable, and the people will want to read. That's where I see myself.
I see myself being with the office of coroner for quite a while, if appointed, and even if I'm not appointed, I would like to apply as a deputy. And I feel that I could do great service to the community, especially with just the office of the coroner and the repair that needs to be done. I understand that it is a elected official position. Politics are involved, and I've personally dealt with the politics of hospitals and organ transplants, which is some of the craziest politicking I'll ever have done in my life. And I understand the morals and the values and the integrity that goes into a position like this, even though I have not as much experience as my familiar next to me. But I hope to continue my education onto a PhD in pathology and possibly a doctorate in medical science. That way I can continue to serve and continue my education.
So to answer the question directly, I will be here as long as Lake County will have me. I will run in every election. As long as Lake County votes me in, then I'm more than happy to be the coroner. That said, I also intend to establish standard operating procedures, SOPs, so that even if I'm not coroner, that legacy of doing it right, doing it legally, and doing it ethically continues. And I think that'd be crucial for anybody who's appointed as coroner. The last thing I want to say is both the men up here are clearly excellent candidates and excellent men. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Any burning questions from the audience, or shall I go back to our mingling?
I think it's just an outstanding, it's a tough choice. You guys, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. I want to just really appreciate every two of you guys. I'm sorry, you're sorry. Doc, okay. So yeah, it's kind of fun seeing all this kind of education coming up. And where people
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.